BBC Radio Derby.
Right, our autograph hunter returns. His name is Andy Broughton. He's collected more than 10,000 signatures, so we thought it'd be interesting to hear some stories behind them. We've done politician yesterday, day before we did Peter Cushing. That's how we first started. Morning, Andy.
Morning, Andy.
Do you know what? The response I'm getting from this feature that we're doing all this week is you're more popular than me.
I doubt that very much.
I don't think so. Right, you've got 10,001. I'm the one.
You are.
Who've we got this morning then? Because this, I know, you gave me a bit of a tip off. This is brilliant.
Yes, this one, I wrote to this lady in closing weeks of 1999, and she was the youngest passenger on the Titanic in 1912. She was 8 weeks old. MILLVINA DEAN. She was leaving Britain with her mum and dad to go to America to start a business, a shop, some kind of shop business over there. Obviously, what happened, the tragedy, her father drowned, and she and her mother returned to England, and she then became a world famous celebrity, for want of a better word, because of the link to the Titanic. Obviously, she was too young to remember what happened on the ship at the time.
Thank goodness.
Her mum gave her lots of information, about the way they were rescued and everything else on the boats. But she kind of relished in the Titanic link, and I wrote to her in 1999, just before the end of the year, and she actually replied on New Year's Eve. And she sent me a lovely photograph of herself, all signed, and a lovely handwritten letter, detailed letter, and it was the start of a 10-year relationship through the mail, and also in meeting her as well. I went to meet her a couple of times, once with my sister, my older sister, who's now in Cornwall. We went down to see MILLVINA DEAN in a bungalow in Southampton, and she was an absolutely incredible person, full of vitality, and she was a bundle of fun, really. But she loved the link that she had with the Titanic. I mean, interestingly, she was the youngest passenger on the Titanic, and also the final survivor in the world to die in 2009, 10 years later after I started writing to her. But she was a good friend also to Derby, because when we had the money mounting, we had every sort of years, she gave me she sent me two. One was for me, and one was for the money mounting. It was a reproduction of the menu of the last dinner, as it was on the Titanic, and she'd signed it. And I'm sure, I think you check the records, it's £2,000. And when they were bidding at the time, live on air, because I was there at the time, they had to check the people bidding, knew that it was just a facsimile, right? She'd signed rather than the original thing on the Titanic.
Fantastic. What a story. We mentioned this. It's not just an autograph with you. You've made many a relationship with people, and I find that really interesting. Did she divulge some of the things that her mother had told her about the disaster then?
Yeah, she obviously just the sheer, the fright, the terror, that moving from the line, because she's only got her mum's words for it, and what the history tells her about it, and it was obviously a very, very sad time, and the fact that they returned to England, it changed the plans of the family. They were going to America to live, and they were going to set up this business in some kind of a shop. I can't remember which kind of business it was, but it obviously didn't happen. Her mother returned here, and she and I think there's very few people on the Titanic that like to be linked to it afterwards, but MILLVINA was one that happily endorsed it, and she'd relished to talk about it. And I think there's one in France she stayed in touch with, one in Germany, but she's the only one that liked the celebrity status sort of thing. And
you could write a book, Andy. Why don't you write a book? Because it's so much more than autographs, isn't it?
Yeah, of course I could. There's so many anecdotes there. Yeah, I suppose it's just finding the time to do it. But
quickly, Larry, have you got Larry Grayson? I used to love Larry Grayson. Have you ever met him?
Never met him. No, he lived in Nuneaton, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You've got his autograph, have you?
Yeah. He lived in a house called the Garlands in Nuneaton, and I wrote to him many times. He was one of the first people after Peter Cushing, when I wrote to the stars after I got him, Larry Grayson, the two Ronnies. He replied straight away. He's another person that I loved him greatly, and he wrote lovely letters to me, and
nicest people that you'd ever met, apart from me, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Andy, once again, fantastic stories. Are you coming back tomorrow? Give us a teaser for tomorrow.
Yeah, two very dangerous gangland criminals, but became quite soft people really in later life. So I'll just say that for now, and I'll explain to you tomorrow.
I think I know who you mean, but you really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were friends of Derby as well. I'll tell you again why tomorrow. They did help Derby in the Money Mountain once, but I'll tell you a bit more about it tomorrow then.
Andy, you are a living legend. Thank you ever so much for coming on. Andy Broughton collected more than 10,000 signatures. Not just the signatures with Andy, though, is it? There's always a story.
From the BBC Sound